Hello, my name is Eduardo and today I am here with part number 2 for this Space Invaders game made in App Inventor. Okay, well, for today, we're going to make this. If you check now, I have here like a simple start screen, so I have here a message that it says touch to start. Well, it is waiting for us to touch. When I touch, you see we have the same thing as before. We rotate the ship and we have the enemy coming down little by little. But now I have added something extra. Pay attention to this. So first I move from right to left, touching here. But now in this area of the canvas, that it's more or less like the 80% of the canvas, if I touch in here, it will fire, and it will fire following the same direction as the ship. And when I collide with the enemy, I reset the position of the enemy, and also the bullet, it is reset. So let me check if I have. No, I'm not very good. So no, terrible. And that's it. Boom. Well, basically that is the idea for this tutorial. So we will add a screen with like a start screen. Then we're going to add a bullet. We're gonna add also a procedure to detect if we are pressing on this area of the canvas. So that means that we just can shoot, or fire, and not moving the ship. So well, if you check here, I cannot move the ship. I have to wait for the bullet to make collision with the edge or with the enemy. But if I press in here, I can still move my ship. So basically that is the idea for today. I hope this is like kind of understandable. So we have a lot of things to do. So let's go here. We are here in screen number 2, and I guess we are going to go to screen number 1 where we have something similar. Ooh, this is huge. Well, so let's start. I have my notes in here just in case we're not like having something good. Well, so the first thing that we need to do is to add our an extra sprite. Here in drawing and animation, we're going to add an extra sprite. Actually we need 2 more. We need one for the text that it says press start, and one for the bullet. So let's rename these to start text, and it says sprite, and then we are going to rename this as bullet sprite. So now we need to import these graphics. I did these graphics in Inkscape, something really simple. For the text, I just set it to white. And it was like 250, the size of this thing, or 256 or something. Well, like that. Well, that was the idea for this one. It was like 256 times 20. And for the bullet, I just create a square, and that it was 64 times 64. Very simple square, so nothing extra. And then I just import these things here in App Inventor. So I have here my bullet, and I have here my text. Well, I already import them, so it's not necessary to import them again. So I'm just going to assign to the start text the picture start, and then for the bullet I'm going to add the bullet. Well, that's it. Okay, now we need to stop everything because now we want the game to start, so we don't want this enemy to be like moving. Okay, so well, let's start with that thing. So the first thing is we need to create something. When we resize, we want to load this at the beginning of the screen. So let's go to initialize, and we are going to insert this simple condition, and let's say if true. That means if is initializing the screen, well, please resize. Okay, so let's check. We are going to refresh the screen to see if this thing is working. We refresh the screen, and that's it. We have the resizing. Okay, sorry for this. Now, what's next? Well, we need to stop the ship. Okay, well, to stop the ship, we have to check where we have this where we have to disable the enemy clock. So we disable the enemy clock. That's it. We disable this. So enemy now it is freeze. Okay, so when we start, and also now we need to resize the text and also to place it, and we're going to use the same procedure, this resize thing. So let's just move it a little bit here upward. So now let me make my blocks bigger for you, 90, and that's it. I guess that's okay. Don't worry, I'm going to reduce this. It's not necessary to see a lot. Well, the first thing is to resize the text. Okay, so for the text we are going to drag here. We can use some of this. Okay, you can use this one, for example. We are going to duplicate this one, the ship. We're going to insert it here, and we're going to change it to start text with, and then we duplicate this one, the ship, and we're going to set it to start text high. Now for these values, okay, so for the width of the text, we're going to set it to maybe I don't know, let's try with the, I don't know, maybe the 70% of the screen. So for the width, do it. I guess it looks okay. So 70%, and maybe for the height we are going to leave it like alphametric. So let's eliminate this one. So let's refresh the screen again. So let's go here to add a number or something just to refresh the screen to see if it looks okay. Yes, just we have to place the touch start text. Okay, so we're going to place the X position, and we're going to eliminate this, and we're going to use something similar like this one for the ship. When we place it, we duplicate the one from the ship, and then we're going to change just this for start text. Now we do it, and we have it in the middle. Okay, so basically it's the canvas width times the 50% minus the start width text divided by 2, so that will remove here. Okay, now we need to resize now our bullet. Okay, so for our bullet we are going to use again this one. So and let's insert it in here, bullet, change to bullet width, and I guess in this case it has to be really small. So what if we set it to 0.025? Do it. Okay, and then for this is a square, so in this case, so for the height we just need to set it as the same as the let's duplicate this block. So we go for bullet sprite width. So for the height we set this thing, and we have a beautiful bullet over there. You know what, this ship looks a little bit small, so what if we set it to 10%? So then we are going to refresh everything to see what happens. I guess looks much better. Okay, and maybe the bullet is okay. Yes, bullet it's okay. Now we need to place the bullet. Okay, so now we need to place it in the screen. So after we resize the bullet, we need to duplicate this friend. We're going to check the X position for the bullet, and for the bullet we're going to set it to, because this is the X, we can use something similar, something like this. Okay, let's use this one, duplicate this, and we're going to go here, change to bullet, then we check it, it is in the middle, and later on we need to place the Y position. So the Y position, I guess it has to be near the let me eliminate this one, Y position. We're going to duplicate the Y position of the ship, and if you remember it's 70%, so we don't want to have the 70%, we want to have it something a little bit bigger, so maybe 78% for our bullet. So we change the bullet, we do it, and it's too much. So what if we set it to 75%? Do it more or less, maybe 73. I guess that would be okay. I quite like it. Or 72%, and then we do it, and we have over there this thing. And after we resize this bullet, we don't want to see the bullet. Okay, so we are going to disappear the bullet. We're going to change this to visible, and we're going to set it to false. That's it. Now we have to disappear the bullet because it is not necessary, and also bullet, well, in this case the ship's prime, it has to have a higher value in the Z in order to be in front of the bullet. Well, basically that is the idea. Okay, so we have everything ready. It says touch to start. We have the enemy freeze over there. Okay, we can also place the enemy in the center if you want. Okay, so we can go to enemy Y. Well, we can duplicate, for example, the ship's pride X, and we duplicate this one, and we set it for the enemy, and then we change this to enemy, and you center the enemy. I guess that's okay. Now we need to activate this the enemy, okay, because the ship, it is already activated. So when we touch the screen, that is the idea now, then when we touch the screen, we want to start this kind of game. Okay, so to do that, we're going to create a new variable. Okay, so this variable will be well, I will call it power. Okay, so that means that is on or off our game. So at the beginning it has to be set to off. We are going to set it to off. Yes. Okay, now we have this, and we're going to check our procedure in the touchdown. So let's move these blocks a little bit upwards here. Now we need to create a condition to detect if we are like starting the game or not. And remember, the value of our variable, it is off. So we need to check if the text in the power, or if power equals to off when we touch, oh sorry, off. Okay, so we are going to change this to on. We're going to change this to on, duplicate, we're going to use on, and we're going to start the game. So we need to create a procedure to start the game. Well, to start the game, we're going to use a very simple procedure. Start. And for this procedure, we are going to enable the enemy clock. So that is the idea here. So we're going to start this clock for the enemy. We're going to set it to true. Okay, and what else? Also we want to make this text invisible. Okay, so the start text, we want to set it to invisible, visible. And we want to, make it invisible, so false, the start text. Now this procedure, the start, we are going to insert it here. After we set everything, after we touch, we detect if we are in off. Okay, so that is the starting value for this variable. So we are going to check if this is off. We are going to set this to on, and then we're going to start the game. Okay, so basically if I touch here, let's see what happens. Well, let's refresh everything again. I like to refresh just to see, because we created a variable, so that's necessary to load the variable. So if we touch, now enemy is alive. Okay, so basically that is the idea. So now well, we are in here and we can create, as we created the start, why not if we create a game over thing. So start game, let's call it start game, much better. And then we're going to create here game over man. So for the game over, we want to do this. We want to set this enemy at its original Y position. So we're going to duplicate this from the resize procedure. Let's move a little bit this thing. Okay, and we want also to set is X position to the original, that it's in the middle of the screen. And also we want to disable this clock, okay, the enemy clock, so the enemy will be like freeze again. And the text, we want to enable the text. If you check, this is like the opposite also as the start game. So, and something extra, we need to change now the power variable to off because it was on. Okay, and we have this thing. Now we can insert this when we have a collision with our ship. I don't know if I created the collision in here. Oh yes, check. Instead of using resize when I have a collision, I want to use game over when I collide with ship, and we have in here. Okay, if I press now, check, I insert my game over in enemy collision. Okay, so basically that is the stuff with this. Okay, so well, we are almost done, right? So now sorry, that's my dog. Okay, well, now what's next? Well, what is next is that we need to now to fire. Okay, so we need to fire the bullet. Okay, so well, to do that we are going to do something. We want to move this, and we want to change the position of the heading of the ship. Okay, so when you have the ship like this, the heading is equal to 0, but 0, that means that it's in here, it's going to this direction. Okay, so we need to move the normal heading plus 90 degrees to have it like here facing the original position. But so let's go little by little. Okay, so let's go to first to touch up here. So when we use this, okay, we are going to make something with the bullet. So the first thing that we need to do it is like check if we're going to move the speed of the bullet. Okay, so to move the bullet we are going to use the property speed. Okay, we're going to set the bullet. Okay, we're going to change check its speed. Okay, so well, to do that we're going to make some simple procedures, and we're going to set the speed of the bullet when we touch down or touch up, it depends. Okay, so it depends on you, and we need to check some coordinates. Okay, so let's organize this. Check, we have here ship. Now I move the ship. Okay, so what I need now, it is to fire. To fire, I want to use this position of the screen. Okay, so if you check, this is like the 0% of the screen, talking about the height, and in here I want to have, if I press more than the 80% of the screen, okay, the height of the screen, I will be just, I want to be able to fire my bullet, okay, and to make it visible, of course. Okay, so well, so let's start like trying to make this this thing. So well, just let me check my notes. Yeah, well, let's do it like that. So we have to make the bullet first visible, and we're going to use here this. Let's go to touch. Let me move just these blocks a little bit up. Okay, and so let's go here. So now check, we are comparing text, we are using the start game. Now the ship clock, it is true, so we are going to create here a condition. So let's create the condition in here, and this condition, it is just to detect, okay, the position of the Y, and we're going to use this Y thing. Okay, so if this position, it is like bigger well, so bigger, let me just use here the symbol because I was like checking something. So here, if the position, this Y touch, it is bigger than the 80%, so to of the height of the canvas. To do that, we are going to use here canvas height. Okay, well, I guess it is high, times the 80%, 0.8. So if this is, see, if the touching Y, it is bigger than 80%, okay, then I want to set the bullet speed. Okay, set the bullet speeds, bullet speed to 10. Okay, this is just a speed. Okay, and also I want to make my bullet visible. So let's remove this, visible, and set it to true. Okay, so just in this case, so if I press here, well, nothing happens because I am here in less than the 80% of the canvas. But if I press in here, check, it is going in this direction, because as I told you, this is the original position, this is 0, and 0 goes over here, 90 goes here. Okay, so we need to modify something over there. So we need to check or detect the position of the heading of the sprite or of the ship. Okay, so well, to do that, we are going to go here to touch up, And we need to check something. I'm going to remove this just to show you what I mean with this. Okay, so let's check bullet sprite heading. We're going to check set its position. Set bullet sprite heading to ship sprite heading. Ship sprite heading. But as I told you, you need to add 90 degrees more in order to fix this. So let's see what happens. Oh, of course we have here the bullet, so we need to reset the bullet. Okay, so when we get to the edge, I mean, okay, so well, so let's reset this. Okay, so let's create another procedure in here just to reset the bullet. Reset bullet. Okay, so we're going to reset the bullet, and to reset the bullet we have to check first, we're going to set it to its original position. Okay, so here we can use this from the resize. Okay, so just duplicate these values, we're going to set them to the original position. Okay, and here let's go here and let's insert this into the procedure. And of course the heading, we need to reset the heading to this ship sprite heading. Okay, and of course the speed, we need to set the speed to 0. We don't want the bullet to be moving, okay, after we get the reach, okay, the edge, I mean, sorry. So we set this to 0. And now let's use, or let's call this procedure when the bullet sprite get an edge reach. Okay, so let's reset the bullet. Now it disappears. Okay, so now let's move and now check. If I fire, that looks like okay. But there is something in here that you need to pay attention. I show you something about the condition. Check what happens when I fire and I move. It changes its direction. Okay, that would be like really cool if you are planning like to have a missile that is like following the enemy or something. Okay, but in my case I don't want to have that. I want to have just a static bullet. So we need to add, that's why we need to add a condition. So well, in this case the condition, it's going to help us, okay, to avoid that we can move this thing. Okay, so the condition, it will check if the speed, okay, let's go here of the bullet sprite speed, if this is equals to 0, that means that the bullet is not moving. Okay, so we can change the heading. If not, if bullet is moving, we cannot change the heading. Check here. Now I cannot change its direction. Okay, so well, that's pretty interesting, right? Now there is something extra. For example, if I press in here, it is like moving and trying to shoot at the same time. So we need to, we need to add something to the condition about rotating the ship. So we just can rotate the ship when the Y position, it is less than the 80%. So when we are touching here or here. Okay, so that's what we want now. So to do that, we're gonna check our condition here for the clock timer. It says touch side coordinate. It is detecting here if we are pressing on this side or in this side, but we need to check if we are pressing or not on this side. So we want to press just when we are above this part, on this area, not in this part. So to do that, okay, we need to create something in the touch. We need to use a new variable. Here we have to detect a coordinate, and we are going to rename it to X. This is detecting the X from the touch down. So now we are going to duplicate this one, and we're going to change this to y, because we want to use this value, okay, in our condition that we are having in the other part. So to export this variable, we just create this touch side coordinate, and we are going to set it here, okay. We are going to set it here and detect the y coordinate. So we are getting this property, okay. So now let's go here where we now check. It says here that this clock, this timer that is moving this ship. If the coordinate x it is like less than 50, you can move to the right, okay, or you can move to the left, to the right or to the left. Here in this case to the right when it's bigger than the 50%, so to the right or to the left. So we need to add the conditions. You know what? But you cannot you say here in AND, we are going to add an AND, and we are going to add it in here. We insert the previous block in here, and the new condition that we will use, it will be the one that we just created, the y coordinate. And if the y coordinate it is like bigger, or in this case it is less than, so when it's less than 80%, okay, of the height of the canvas. Oh, let me remove this. Okay, so to get the percent, remember we are going to use that. We use the canvas, we check for height. Well, it is not this one, it is this one, times 80%, 0.8. When this value, okay, this y position, it is less than 80, so that means that it's over here or over here, over here, okay, so we can move this thing, okay. So well, check what happens here. In this case we can move, okay. If I touch in here, I cannot move, but in this case I can. Why? Because I haven't added to the other part, okay, when it's going to the right. So check here, that's okay, it is not moving, just firing, but in this case it's moving, okay, so that's not good. So we are going to add another AND condition for the right when we go into the right, and basically we are going to copy or duplicate this one, okay, and that's it. With that thing we will have it, and we fire. That's it. Now there is another thing here in reset the bullet. So what if we make the bullet invisible, okay, visible to false, and we press, so we have in here when we get to the reach, and we can fire and it disappear, and just when we touch again. So we're almost done with this, okay, so it looks quite good. Now what else do we need? Well, what if we want, when we have this collision with the bullet, the enemy has a collision with the bullet, okay, so we want to reset the bullet position and set the enemy to another part, or disappear the enemy, okay, so it is something like we did in this part, okay. So here, start the game. So we want to change the enemy to reset its position, okay. Well, to do that, first let's go here, enemy collide with, we're going to add another condition, else if, and we're going to duplicate this one, and then we're going to check if we have a collision with bullet sprite, okay. So if the enemy collides with the bullet sprite, well, we're going to reset its position. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to use this one. Well, to make things easier, we're going to create a procedure that is enemy reset, and in enemy reset we are going to insert these two things. Now instead of this one we can just remove this one and remove this one, and we're going to use this enemy reset in here. So that's much better. So now we are going to use enemy reset when we have this collision, and also okay, when we have this collision we want to have reset, we want to reset the bullet. Okay, so let's check what happens. Let's fire this alien. Yes, if you check, it will reset the position of the enemy, and now it's looking much better, this thing. Oh, I am terrible. Okay, we can change also the speed to make it like a variable speed, so to add some difficulty to this. Okay, check, it will reset the position of this. And I guess that's all for this video. Okay, I'm not sure if I am missing something. Okay, but I guess that's okay for today. Just maybe we're missing more things, maybe to add more enemies or to change the color of the enemy, or and of course to add sounds and these things, but so far so good. Okay, we have something like a game, and maybe to add lives and these things. Okay, so well, I hope you liked this video, okay, and you understood this video. So my name is Eduardo. Okay, I am really happy to share these things with you. Okay, please check my other videos, share this video. Okay, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please let me know them. Okay, I am really happy to answer your questions or your comments. Okay, well, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching this video, and let's just see this beautiful alien stuff thing. Okay, well, until the next time.